What's up, everybody? You got the TheCarMan, and we are back on it today. Yesterday was a little bit of a trouble. We tried to go live, and we had all these issues come up, and big problem, big pain in the butt. Yesterday was. However, no matter how big the problem was yesterday, today we have a new program, and we are all better. So we're going to solve it. Okay, so where are we at today? So the title of this video is going to be Procrastination, the Deal Killer. The Deal Kill. Procrastination, the Deal Profit. Completely a train wreck, so I ended up deciding to just try to post it back, and it was a long story short. It was just a disaster. So we're just completely bypassing the YouTube thing now, and I'm just using my phone, and that's what we're going to rock and roll with today. All right, guys. So what's everybody been up to? Hope you had a good 4th of July. And let's talk about this. Let's talk about what do I mean by procrastination? All right. So if you're going to be in the car business and you're going to do cars, you got to have a schedule down pat. Everybody always asks me, they're like, God dang, dude, how much do you get done in a day? The answer is absolutely all of it. I get it all done in one day. That's exactly how you got to do. I do it every day. So one of the things about car people that becomes pretty funny and very evident is a lot of them are extremely lazy. So they don't like to get up early and they don't like to do their homework. They don't like to button their T or cross their T's and dot their I's, which, at the end of the day, that costs you a little bit of extra cash and it keeps you from being on top of your game. So, for example, for me in the morning, I get rolling around 6 and I turn around and by 6 o'clock I've already got a schedule that I'm working on from the day before, and I'm already starting. Of course, I look at stocks and other stuff going on, kind of getting all that stuff done. But as far as car business stuff, I've got my check off list of everything that I've got planned for that morning, wherever stuff's going, who it's going with, and it's all underway. So by 7:30, 8 o'clock, all that's all underway and done. I hit the gym. After the gym, then I come back, and then it's car business straight on until about 5 or 6 o'clock. No matter what, rain, sleet, snow, or shine, at least 5 days a week, sometimes 6 or 7. I don't recommend that to everyone because there's more to life than just the car business. I get really, really busy, so it takes me extra time to get it done. I get in trouble for it at home, but hey, that's how it works. All right, so a lot of people procrastinate on things, and by procrastinating, and what I mean by that is they don't make a decision. And like, if you've ever heard, you heard the expression, there's a lot of dead squirrels in the roads that couldn't make a decision. The road's full of them, and that's true. So when you buy a car, if you made a mistake, you got to make a decision. You can't procrastinate. Okay, what I mean by this is, let's say you buy one and it's got like a serious epic issue. Like, let me give you one. Let's say we got a bad transmission. Didn't know it. We got it. It's a $500, $800 car. Still runs good. It just slips in third gear. There's no way to fix it and come out on the head on the other game. So what do? Well, most people will just sit and look at it and be pissed off and on and on and on. That's not how I look at them at all. Although I'm not happy about it, I'm gonna be very disgruntled for that first 10, 15 minutes. But after that, I'm sending it right to the block or I'm putting it on for parts or whatever. The car's gone. When something is bad, I know it's bad. You cut your loss. You cut your loss without ever looking backwards. Completely forward, done. I mean, you got to be over it. You got to cut it. Head off, done. So that's one of my first things about procrastination is you got to make decisions, even though they're hard decisions. Just live by them because what you're going to find out is we only make money when we buy cars. So anything other than buying cars is costing us money. So if we take a car and it has a project that we're not expecting, and it's a major one, and even though you could put all this time and money in it and maybe break out, and it's going to take you 2 or 3 weeks to break even, or you sell it, you lose your little bit of a hit, but that money's already back in play, and you've already made your money back 3 times over. Plus, you're on the 10 cars past that, and you're way past it and way over it. And that's what I mean. A lot of people get caught up in the whole, they get caught in the rut of trying to not lose money. And I don't advocate losing money. This is why I always tell people to please watch the series on how to buy cars because if you understand how to buy cars, then you're going to be, hold on, let me see this right here. All right. We're in live chat. Okay, there we go. I had to turn on my live chat. I forgot I had to manually do that. Okay, Steve, do it now. Got you, brother. Yeah, so it is like one of those things where you've gotta feel it in the moment. Like when you know you're taking the hit, take it, man. Just take it, man up, and just call it a day. Just move on. And sometimes people, I see this all the time. People sit on their cars for weeks and months, and hell, I've even seen them sit on them a year trying to sell them. Well, that's insanity. When you get into the car business, they always say this is not 100% true, but this has got some truth to it. Your first offer is your best offer. And what they mean by that, they don't mean your very first offer. If somebody lowballs you 200 or 220 cents on the dollar, that's not an offer. Your first real offer, somebody getting close to what you're offering, or what you're asking, you take it because time is money, and this is back to procrastinating. If you're holding out to make an extra $500 to $1,000 on a car that you're kind of on the high end of retail anyway, you're not actually down below the wholesale value. You're just wasting your time. You might as well just take the shot when somebody sends it up and just cash it out. That's just how it works, which is goes back into procrastination. People want to feel good about what they own, and the only way they feel good about it is if they're validated by what someone else will pay for it. A lot of times, or we get it in our mind that we're going to make 2 grand on something, and that's just it. That's just retarded. What you need to do is take your first best offer and move that on. Got it from the cart man. Okay, so procrastination can be holding onto your cars too long. It can be not wanting to take the hit when you're supposed to take it. In other words, something's wrong and you just can't do it. Third, you know, every guy out there that buys cars can all tell you the same story about the car they were going to go look at and didn't and lost, and bam, guess what? It cost them 2 grand that week or 3 grand that week. Guess how I know? It's happened to me about as many times as I can even think. Even though now I'm a lot faster, the second you get on a vehicle and you find it, let's just say that for wherever media site you found the car for sale, and you're like, bam, it just posted. You get in touch with them. What is your goal? I've already taught you this. Whatever your goal is, this is to hook them on the spot. You have to hook them, and you got to go directly to them as fast as they'll let your little legs get there. Now, what does a lot of people do? All right, well, look, let me talk, and I'm gonna call you back in an hour. Then I'm gonna I'm gonna do this tomorrow. I'm gonna do this next week. Wrong answer. You will never make it in the car game if you procrastinate on buying the cars. Period. In the story, it's just how it works. I gotta move my hat around. I have too much light. I don't know if light. I don't know. Whatever. I don't need a hat today. I just realized how dark I was. And it's not from the suntan, it's from this light. I have adjusting lights. Cameraman, lights, camera, action. All right. So procrastination can be waiting too long to get the cars, and another thing too that this just kills me that people do this. When someone calls your phone, answer it. Why? Because people don't like to wait. So if you're in the game of buying and selling and someone's selling something and you haven't answered your phone, or you think you're too important, or you've got too much going on, or, I don't take calls that I don't know the answer, or whoever, if I don't know who it is, I don't take the call, on and on and on and on. Guess what? You're not making as much money as you could. Anybody will tell you that it's successful at buying and selling, no matter what product it is. Your phone's got to be available when it rings. One ring in, pick it up, answer it, get right down to it. Is people going to be there that are jerking you off? Yes. Does that matter? No. Because you'll get good at getting rid of people that you don't want to talk to, but it's the people that you do want to talk to that you can't procrastinate answering phone calls with. So that's a big deal. And the reason I'm getting into procrastination, I get a lot of people ask me all the time, what's the secret into making a successful car business or being in the car dealership business? And the secret is doing the work. That's the secret. It's not like there's a mysterious, mix of if you do this and you do that. It's not a mystery. It really is just work ethic. Like I'm saying, in the morning, get your butt up out of bed, get to work, get all your stuff checked off, get it listed, get it lined out. When you get cars lined up, call them, hit them. When you get somebody calling you your phone, pick it up and answer it. Easy stuff. Another thing too that people procrastinate on is a lot of times people don't want to spend the money. People that are in car business don't want to spend the money it takes to get cars ready and right to go. So they tend to put it off. And I'm talking about cars they know that they're going to have to spend some money on. They'll do this, they'll drag their ass over here, drag their ass over there. Meanwhile, they've lost 2 or 3 cars while they're trying to save $50 on getting a job done. Bad idea. You definitely want to, whenever you get a car in, pull the trigger. If you've got a guy lined up for detail, call him as the car's on its way in. If you've got a paint guy that's got to paint a fender, tell him you need it done yesterday. You know the story. We need all this stuff done yesterday. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Part of your job as the owner of this vehicle, moving it from point A to point B and building value, is being the master of the puppet master that makes it all work. So you've got to be able to put everybody in concert so you can make money. Yeah, sure, they'll all make a little bit. The parts guy's going to make a little bit. The detail guy's going to make a little bit. The auction might make a little bit. The dealer you're working for might make a little bit. Uncle Sam's going to make. Everybody's going to make a little bit. That's okay. We're used to it. We're so used to it. Everybody makes money on us, and that's okay. But the only way this is okay is if you push all of them. If they're going to make the money, you push all of them as fast and hard as you can to make your money back. That's all that's important. You got to push them. You got to push them to the limit. You got to be like on the detail guy. I mean, quality and speed turnaround. Quality, speed turnaround, period. The paint guy, same thing. Mechanic, don't you ever call me and say, well, you're not going to like this. No, you call me and say, this is what I need to do to fix this car. All the mechanics that work for me know this. They do not call me and say, I don't play the bullshit game. I don't play it. So they know that if they're calling me, they better have a solution to whatever problem they got, or I'm coming to pick my car up and I'm taking it to someone else that will. Period in the story. Don't play the game with the mechanics. Never. Which is why I got into fixing my own cars. You see, I do a lot of do-it-yourself stuff. But I also, because we do such volume, I had to send a lot of stuff out. And so I have to deal with mechanics on a regular basis. Now that's okay. That's okay. I don't care if a mechanic makes money. When I send a car down for inspection, I know they're going to blister my ass on something. I know it's coming down. He says he struggles with most of this. Yeah, exactly. This is why I'm getting into this right now, Mr. Generite, is because the nuts and bolts of this work. Everybody gets on the internet and says, "Oh, if you want to be rich in the car business, all you need to do is buy low and sell high." Well, no shit. I guarantee you that's exactly right. But the thing is, no one is willing to tell you the nuts and bolts of how to make it work so you do become successful. So to be successful in what we do, you have to be a non-procrastinating maniac. Like, you have to be on top of your game, period, in the story. And what's going to happen is, here's what happens. You can bullshit your way in if you're not most guys out there, especially if you're independent, you're in business for yourself. And I hate to use a stereotype, but most guys are going to be pretty alpha. In other words, they're going to be in business for themselves, and they're not pretty much going to take shit from anybody anyway. But they don't really understand how to push other people. Like, they don't want to piss off their mechanic, and they don't want to piss off the paint and body guy, and they don't want to piss off whoever they're dealing with. Like, they're trying to keep it all, you know what I mean? All like working smooth. And that's right. You need to do that. But there is a way, and how you do it is you don't become friends with these people. Like, you respect and you have a working relationship. But when you go down there, like, don't start off with how's the wife and kids. Even though you might know the wife and kids, you need to be the guy that starts out with, is my vehicle ready? Is it under budget? Is it on, you know what I mean? Is it on cue and on time? If you ever put a project out, like right now I have a clutch going on a Toyota. And the guy launches this new mechanic I was working with. So the guy calls me, and basically he's like, hey, I've got this. You know, he goes through this whole long story. So he's about 5 minutes into it, and I stop him. I said, bud, let me tell you something. My time is worth somewhere around $200 an hour. I don't have time to talk to you. The Toyota that we're talking about, I sent all the parts over. Do you have the ability to do this job? The guy says, yes. I said, will you have the job done tomorrow at 4 o'clock? The answer is yes or no. And the guy goes, well, I could. I said, well, I don't need to know if you could or can't. I just need to know if you are going to have it done. Because if you're not going to have it done by tomorrow at 4 o'clock, what I'm going to do is have a tow truck pick up that car, and whatever work you've done is gone. And it's going to another mechanic that can produce it to me in a timely manner. He's like, man, you don't got to be such a hard ass. I'm like, I'm not being a hard ass. But you're getting ready to give me, he was getting ready to give me the sob story about how he didn't want this and, he wanted to go do that and he wanted to go do this and, life happens and all that good stuff. And that's great. I hate to be a dick. But you know what? Who's going to be here on Monday when the customer's here to pick up that car? No one. He's not going to be here taking the heat. No, sir. He isn't going to care. He's going to, because you've already given him lackadaisical, you're his buddy, you're his friend, he's going to be pushing you off down the line because he doesn't care what you think. He thinks he can push you around. He's going to be doing work for the guys that he respects and is scared to piss off. And you need to be the guy that he's scared to piss off, because that's the only way you're going to actually get your work done every time in a timely manner. I'm just throwing that out there. And I don't mean to advocate, you don't cuss people out. I don't mean talking down to them. I don't mean any of that stuff at all. I mean, very pointedly, you need to say, sir, are you going to have my job done when it's on schedule for? That's how I always start with my vendors. And they, you know what now? If I go to the detail place, hey, what's up, Big Cliffy? If I go to the detail place, I didn't know Big Cliff was on tonight. What's up, Big Cliffy? If you go to the detail place, you want them to pay attention to you and you want them to respect your position, and they know that you're a steady paycheck for them. Now, the second they know that they can put you off, it's kind of like when I was telling y'all how to, if you're going to be in toe-to-toe and high-risk loans, you've got to retrain your customer how to pay for their reprioritize you for the payment on their car. Because if not, they're going to call you every Friday with an excuse. Well, my power bill was out, I had to pay rent, the babies didn't have diapers, and you're just an ass if you say no, and you're just a jerk off and blah blah blah, and they play your emotions. I say put a computer cutoff on it. So in 7 days, it's not up to me. I want to be a nice guy. I want to love you. I want to be your best friend. I want to support you. I want to do everything I can do for you. But you got to pay me on Friday at 5 o'clock. I mean, that sucks, but we're still going to be tight. We're going to be friends. And you know what? I'm very sad about what's happening with your landlord right now. And you can call me and complain about it because I feel you. I understand, because my landlord's going to call me on the 1st and he's going to know why I didn't get all these payments collected. So it's the same thing happens with the vendors. And these vendors, you don't let them procrastinate you either, because they see you as $50 or $100, right? They don't realize that their $50 or $100 job is holding up your $1,500, $2,000 revenue. And if they hold up 2 cars, that's a $4,000 jam up in your bank account. So I treat vendors with respect, but it is purely business. And if you can't put up, then you shut up and I move out and I find somebody that will. That's how I roll. I've always rolled like that, and I don't play around. Luckily, I do have mechanical experience, so it's really hard for somebody to BS me on, all the ins and outs, because any mechanic that I'm dealing with, they already know. Like they're like, hey, I don't even have to ask. They'll walk in and go, here's your brake caliper, man, it's frozen. Okay, all right, okay, it's cool. You replaced it. So that's how, and I know that makes me sound kind of like a prick almost. I mean, I almost sound like one of those really hard to deal with people. It's not that I'm hard to deal with. I just take business real serious, because I understand that if I let one guy off the hook and jam me up, then it's going to start a cataclysmic event that puts everybody behind. It puts everybody that works for me behind. It puts everybody that counts on paychecks behind. It puts my income behind. It puts my goals behind. It puts my monthly cars behind. It puts everything behind. And that's how I look at it. So procrastination can be a very, very big deal when it comes to vendors. So that's why I wanted to touch base with that too. I think that's a very important nut and bolt that a lot of people don't get into. Matter of fact, nobody gets into it. Let's call it. Very few people actually get into anything I get into that's on the internet. I mean, just let's just throw it out there. And I'll tell you why. Because it's not their life. It's not what they do. What they do, they read a book. They've learned how to buy a car. They got lucky and made $50 or $100, and now they're going to go start a course and start selling people on how they can make money and get rich. And that's what I say. Oh, okay. So procrastination. All right. Another thing too about procrastination. I learned this life lesson. You know what, Big Cliff? Absolutely. It's so unfortunate. And how I became the way that I am, Big Cliff, I don't know if everybody can read what he just wrote or not, but he said his dad lost the business by being too nice. That's the way it is, man. Because what you find out there's no one. I mean, you got the car man telling you right here. I'm right in your face, looking at you, telling you this is what you got to do to survive. But I'm going to be one of your very few advocates that's going to be that you're going to be able to reach out to, because everyone else that's going to be in your world is going to have their hands out, and you're going to be an asshole because you didn't pay them. Period. In the story. All they're going to care about is how much money that hold on, sorry about that, guys. All they're going to care about is how much money that is involved in your transactions with them. That's it. And unfortunately, that's just the truth on how this whole thing works. The detail people don't care whether you can pay your kids' bills. They don't care whether your wife got a new whatever. They don't care if you can pay your car. They don't care about your house. They don't care about your health. They don't care about shit. And neither does the mechanic. The mechanics, a lot of the people that are in the different fields they're working in, all they see is what they have to do that day. They don't think anything past it. So that's an unfortunate thing about life. Is it's just a reality. But I mean, as people that watch my channel, I want that blood in you, man. I want that fight. So if people when you're out there and man, you're taking those blows and you're Muhammad Ali and you're like, you know what? I may have paid too much for this car, but by God, it's going to be ready in 3 days, and everybody here is going to be playing game the way I want to play it, because I may not make 1,000, but I'm going to make my 800. I'm going to make it by Monday so I can get that car back on the street and put that money in my pocket to turn into another car to make up the $200 I lost. That's the mindset I'm trying to give you inside of your head. That's how you need to play this game to win it. And the big shots, I'm this, I'm that, stroke my ego shit. It doesn't even matter. I always laugh when people are like, they have to announce that they're car dealers. And I'm just like, the reason you have to announce it is because you think that might help you somewhere down the road. But the truth is, people don't care if you're a car dealer. All they see is a big red target on your back. What people need to know about you is very simple. They need to know you're all business and no play, but you're a respectful, nice guy. I'm sorry, or lady, because there's some ladies playing this car game too. And let me tell you what, those women, they are heartless. I don't mean heartless doesn't mean, I mean, they just don't play around. I know this Latino lady. I was actually buying one of her cars from her. I didn't even know she was a car dealer. I was like, I went up there and she's like, she talks with a real heavy Latino accent. She goes, I know you. And I was like, everybody knows me, but why do you know me? How do you know me? Did I sell you cars before? And I'm thinking she's a private individual. She goes, I seen you at the Mannheims. And she goes, you have the big YouTube channel. I said, yeah, that's right. And she starts laughing. She goes, I sold 140 cars this month. I'm thinking, bullshit. There is no way this little Latino chick sold 140 cars. But she is. She was. She's selling from her apartment. Let me tell you what this girl's doing. She has, I think it's a West Virginia license. She's using somebody's license from out of our state somewhere. But she's bringing cars into Richmond, and she has these buyers out. I guess they're like uncles, cousins, whoever. I don't know how many she's got. But this woman has a supply of cars and a choke of chicken. And even knowing I was dealing with her. She was trying to sell me a car with a bad head gasket. Can you imagine trying to sell me a car with a bad head gasket? I mean, let's just have a reality check for a second. If everybody to show up at your car with a bad head gasket, who's the worst guy you could possibly have show up? This woman is trying to close my ass on buying a bad head gasket. And she can't even speak good English. And she's doing a halfway good job. Finally, I say, hey, look, first, I want to hire you. Second, your car, you have a parts car. I mean, I love you. Your Ford Focus is great, but it's a parts car because it's a blown head gasket. I can take you down to the junkyard and show you 50 of them that look just as good as this one with blown head gaskets. You have a parts car, so shut the f- up about it's worth $1,000. It's not. But she's like, okay, and this is how good she was. Hey, can I you want to buy it and fix it? If you can fix it, you can make some money on it. This is what this woman is telling me. Like she's trying to now sell me on a project. I mean, she was relentless. And we laugh. I laughed at it as I was leaving, but at the same time I was like, damn, I wish she was working for me. That woman's man, she's all right, dude. She doesn't care. And the thing is, she didn't care. And that's when she's dealing with her vendors, I guarantee you, she's the exact same way. She doesn't care. She's going to be like, I need this done. I need it done this day. And I've got these cars for sale. And that's all she cares about. You got to have that mindset. Go, 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 go. Take your bullets, rock and roll forward. Do whatever you got to do. Make it happen. So, what else do we procrastinate about in life? All right. So, you're not going to like this one. And I think Big Cliff's on. I hope Big Cliff's still on here because somebody needs some backup on this one. So on relationships in the car business, it's tough. It's tough on marriages. It's tough on dating. It's tough on everybody, especially if you're like a car salesman or something, because what happens is it kind of consumes you. Like you tend to wake up in the morning and you're running. You got to start the game. You got to start the hamster on the wheel thing. And so by the end of the night, you're constantly chasing cars, you're constantly chasing the next profit, and you're constantly chasing the next deal. Like that's just what happens. It's just like this endless circle, and it's just like a whirlwind that never goes out. I mean, it just goes crazy. And that's okay. We understand that about the car business, and car salesmen are booked so many hours. Like they really extort you for your amount of time that you do. Like I really feel bad. Like a lot of car salespeople, they're out there 50, 60, 70 hours a week. And then when they're gone, then people try to steal their deals. The dealer doesn't look after them. And then, it's always a guilt trip of why it's just like ridiculous. Like they steal your life away from you. So here's my advice on family and the car business. I think this is very important, and take it from me. Like I've been through a divorce. I don't know why I'm so damn lovable. And I've had my share of problems with this because I'm not there. I'm working it. Man, I make a lot of money. And you would think that's all it would take, but it doesn't. Like you have to be like, you got to stop and you got to say, hey, you know what? Friday at 6 o'clock, the game's over. You see me, I'm broadcasting at 8 o'clock on my YouTube channel, on my car channel. But okay, maybe I should use a different date and time. So, okay, Saturday, I'm not doing anything on Saturday or Monday or whatever. And take that time with whatever your family situation is. Take that time to be a family person or whatever it is. If you want to watch your movies, go out, enjoy life a little bit. Because the rat race is going to be waiting for you in 24 hours from now or whatever. And I take this from a personal point. Everybody well aware of this. I had double ischemic strokes. Let's see, I guess January, a year and a half ago, whatever it comes out to. And you know what, man? It's an eye opener. It's an eye opener. I mean, thank God. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. I mean, I recovered and everything, but I mean, there's a little while you're like, damn it, man. Look at all this time I wasted chasing cars and deals. So the family is a very important deal. And if you want to stay profitable, one of the best ways to do it is to keep that family active, stay engaged in your church, stay engaged in your family, whatever makes you you. You've got to stay engaged in that, because if you don't, this car business, man, it's cold. It's a lonely place. Yeah, there's a lot of money in it, but money can't buy it all. But when it's time to make the money, you got to be focused on making that money. And one of the best ways to do it is to have taken a little bit of time out and slot it for your family, or for yourself. I mean, some people weren't married or whatever, or whatever. You know what I mean? Just take some time. Whatever makes you you, go do you. Go do you for a little while once a week, and have a cutoff time. and be like, you know what? At this point in time in my life, at 8 o'clock, it's over. And then spend time. I mean, that's all it is. Because if not, this business will suck the living shit out of your life. I promise you. I hate to use that word, but you get the really good graphic of what I'm trying to make and what I'm saying. And don't procrastinate on that, guys. You will appreciate that advice later in life at some point when I tell you prioritize your family over this business. But make this business very important. Like when it's time to work, you be balls out and you be working your ass off. That's how you do it. That's how you make it. All right. So procrastination, that's my theory on it. I'm sure everyone's got their own take. And I surely wish if anybody else has anything to say about it, I would like to hear it. But that's just me. I think just recapping, I think, you can't play around with your vendors. You got to have a schedule ready to go. You got to be able to make hard decisions when nobody wants to. And I think you need to take a little bit of time out for you. I think, you got to. Don't procrastinate on that. I think you got to do what's right for you as a person weekly. And then everything, just like the song says, everything will be all right. You just got to work it. You got to put the brakes on when it's time to shoot them off. And then you got to put the floor down and rock and roll when it's time to come back on. And if you'll do what I'm telling you to, as far as handling the vendors and all the stuff the way I'm telling you to, you'll find out you have a lot more valuable time because you'll have people worried about trying to get you happy, which gives you more time. Instead of you worrying about them doing their job, they'll be worried about you worried about them doing their job, if that makes sense. We want them worried. We don't want you worried. You like how I did that? I don't know how I did that. All right, guys. Any questions out there, or are y'all good to go tonight? Or do y'all have any subjects you want to cover tomorrow? I got some ideas I had in mind. Well, I guess we'll see how they go. I got a few. You know what? You'll just have to stay tuned tomorrow because what happens is I come up with a good idea and then somebody between now and tomorrow at 8. Oh, I'm sorry. Today's Friday, so it'll be Monday at 8 o'clock when we come back on, and then away we go again. So, all right, I hope everybody had a 4th of July that was like banging and killer, and I'm sure Big Cliffy didn't drink anything down in the island, so we good down there. He's straight, and I ain't seen Autobuff on tonight. I guess I'm not sure where he's at. I guess everybody's going to get used to the new 8 o'clock thing. And, all right, I guess that's it. Nothing but love and peace from the RVA. Shop our Amazon store. Spend a lot of money. And coming soon is t-shirts. You're going to love those. Anyway, peace out, guys. Love you, little guys. And we'll see you. Oh, knocked you down. I'm going to see you on Monday at 8 o'clock. All right. So peace out, my man.